Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody at the Urban Action Showcase and Expo for celebrating the 20th anniversary of both the Spawn animation from HBO and New Line Cinema's live action. We had a blast doing it all those years ago, and we hope that you enjoyed this here today. Also, we're going to be answering a few questions about the movie that I've got coming up, a new movie as well as the old movie, and we gave some cool stuff in your swag bag. Hope when you open it up you enjoy it. We'll have a good time. Enjoy your evening. Sorry I couldn't be with you, but maybe when the new movie comes out we'll do it again 20 years from now. Be good.
Urban Action Showcase and Expo, Spawn 20th anniversary celebration, and I promised you that we had an exciting guest today. I bring to you the one and only John Leguizamo, aka Clown, aka The Violator. John, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I mean, this place is so packed today on the third day of Comic-Con. It's nuts. But you know what's beautiful about this? Is look at, it's like 50% people of color.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We fuel this goddamn business.
Yes, we do.
We need the business to cater to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We need a lot more superheroes
that represent multicultural image and interest.
Yes.
And that's what the
Latin people, Asian people.
Yes, sir.
Represent us. We pay for it.
Yes, we do. And that's what the Urban Action Showcase is about.
Yeah, you know, it's strange when you do these celebrations because, again, you have to sort of acknowledge time's going by. So on one hand, you're sort of thankful that after 20 years anybody cares about anything you do creatively. So again, thank you to all the people who like the animation and live action. But you're constantly sort of hoping that you can update and do some new stuff, which is why I'm pretty excited about that I'm going to be writing, producing, directing the new movie coming out here. So the only thing we as creators can hope for is that you do something that has some kind of impact and can sort of last over time, and that we're 20 years into it and you guys are still looking forward to Spawn kind of product. I just want to tip my hat and hope you guys have a good time. Wow. Let me tell you that one of the things. Look, I'm a white Canadian, so don't hold it against me. But I'm super proud of the fact that Spawn was an African American. I knew people from that race. I roomed with people. I lived around people, and it just bugged me that we just don't treat the world with the same equality that we should. And so I wanted to do this thing when I was doing Spider-Man, where he's covered from head to toe, but why do we treat him like a white guy? Why do we just assume he's not Asian or Indian or Latino or black? Why do we just talk to him like we would anybody else? So one of the things I wanted to do when I created Spawn was I wanted to cover him from head to toe so you couldn't see the color, and I wanted then in the first issue to take away the skin so that then you just would judge him on his actions and the merit of what he does. Martin Luther King said that. If you could just start judging people by their actions and not by the color of the skin, would be in a better shape. So, but that it also became one of the first superhero of a minority color. I mean, I'm quite proud of it. You know, again, I can't say that I can speak for any minority other than Canadians, but I'm proud that I can at least help in some way sort of share characters that have some diversity, right? I like it, right? I'll let them have all their like pretty white boys like me. We're done with that. Spawn, diversity, love it. You know, let me tell you, it was a little bit funny because it actually worked a little bit. The mere fact when I created Spawn, it was a black man, and again, you know, a very popular minority superhero. By me stripping the color off, people started to forget, because I didn't make a big issue of it. And so they started to forget, and as time went by, they just went, oh, Todd, I'd be at shows, Todd, Spawn's cool, Spawn's cool. And I'll never forget, one time I was in Texas, right? You know the good old boys. And they came up to me, I remember a couple of guys came up to me and they went, that's Spawn. They had their cowboy hat, they had their belt buckles, and they went, that's Spawn, that's my favorite hero. And I remember I could see there was like 3 or 4 of them. And I went, you remember that's a black man, right? And I froze them. It was sort of like a New York Yankees fan saying they liked the Red Sox for a minute, right? That they just went, and they looked at each other and they went, oh my God, I forgot. And they went, yeah, he's still cool anyways. And to me, that was the moment that I go, wow, that there are now people that were just judging the actions of the character by what he did and not how he looked, right? It just, and I went, that's it, I made my mark. So maybe there's a bunch of more rednecks out there that think Spawn's cool. So. So I know everybody sitting here today is celebrating the 20th anniversary of both the animation and live action. The comic book has been around for 25 years. You know, I'm heading towards issue 300, which will be a new record for an independent comic book. But I created the character when I was in high school, and really some of the, although when I first created, he was in space because Star Wars was kind of popular when I was a kid. All the other elements were the same, and I was less concerned about what superheroic powers he had as I was to the motivation that drove him. And he just wanted one thing, and here's what I believe. I don't care what race or creed or color, religion you are. I believe that we all have somebody that we love dearly, and if you walked out of the house today and the last thing you said to your loved one was something nasty because you got into a fight, and on the way to work you got hit by a bus, you wouldn't want to leave Earth knowing that the last things you said to the most important person in the world was something negative. And if somebody then could say in the blink of an eye, you can go back and say, I love you one last time, I don't care who you are and what your religious beliefs are, you take that deal. Before you'd ask any questions, you take the deal. And it's what happened to this guy. He loved his wife so much that he took the deal before he actually looked at any of the detail. And at that point, his life changed forever. But the motivation was just out of the love of his wife, who's named Wanda, who happens to be the name of my wife, who we've been together for over 40 years. So I would do the exact same thing. So let me see if I can explain succinctly as I can what I believe is going to be some very easy differences between the sort of the New Line Cinema 1997 one and the one today. Let's just use some simple terms. The New Line one was an action movie. These are my definitions. It was an action movie, it was a superhero movie, and it was PG-13, right? And there's like a rubber costume, if you will. And again, it's a superhero movie. The one I'm doing will be R-rated. It will be a ghost story. You're never going to see his full anatomy, and other than the one element, which is Spawn, there's no other fantastic elements in it. So there will be no clown, there will be no heaven, there will be no hell, there will be none of that. There will be one element, the boogeyman, that will be Spawn, and then the rest of the world is normal. It will be a normal drama, and every now and then the shadow moves, and the shadow is what you and I know as Spawn. And when Spawn comes and he moves around, and you're gone. And if you're bad, you are gone that quick, and he will mess you up. And he doesn't care about the harshness of it, and it will just be that fast, and you're done. He won't put handcuffs on you and take you to Commissioner Gordon. He will just take you out and mess you up. So, if you like Jacob's Ladder, like I did as a kid, hopefully you'll like this.
All right.
And in honor of the 20th anniversary,
No way.
Brought to you by HBO Cinemax,
Thank you, man.
Image Comics, for your contribution to our first. You got to recognize that Spawn is our first African-American comic book hero to hit the big screen.
But Spawn is even more important than that.
Yes, sir.
Because Spawn was the first black superhero in comic books,
Yes, sir.
and the industry was dying in the 80s.
Yes, sir.
And Spawn turned it around.
Yes, he did.
A superhero, a black superhero, turned the whole industry around, became sort of the epitome of what a new comic book for the new millennium should be.
Yes, sir.
There was more vulgarity, there was more violence, a little darker.
Absolutely.
Not skin tone, but you know what I mean.
Todd, we really appreciate what you've done for the world.
specifically for the African American community, because for us, as you said before, it was our first heroic representation of a comic book hero on screen. So on behalf of the Urban Action Showcase and Expo, which celebrates diversity and the multicultural achievements within the blockbuster action genre, we want to present you this Spawn 20th Anniversary Award for, of course, the HBO animated series, as well as the New Line live action film.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Look, it's my pleasure. And here's what I like to say, that I at no time would I even attempt to say that I have any insight into what minorities go through, right? All I could say is that as a person of privilege and the right color, I just saw over the years what some of my friends had to endure, and what bugged me the most wasn't blatant racism. It was the subtle stuff, and you know, I don't have to tell you.
Yes, sir.
It's the stuff that at the end of the conversation, it always ends the same. I'm just kidding. Come on, lighten up, right? And that was the stuff that just got my goat. And so I go, no, I'm going to see if I can take a character and put him on equal footing with any character that's out there, and just say it's doable, and then hopefully inspire others, actually of those communities, to go and take people that are like you and make them, right? And I mean, I'm Canadian. I'm going to do Canadian superheroes too, right?
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes,
but I some of us are allies. So we're not all bad guys. Some of us are allies, and I just hope that there will be plenty of others too.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.